Good evening, everyone. Phil here, and welcome to the Daily Wrap for what was Tuesday, the 27th of August, 2024. A full gameplay day of a brand new release, a day where a lot of people tuned in to see, hey, is this game any good? Is it what it's cracked up to be, or is it kind of underwhelming? Reviewers have been all over the place with this game called Star Wars Outlaws, so people wanted to kind of get it from my opinion and my mouth, because you know me, I don't pull any punches and I tell it like it is. But before we get to that, I want to talk about podcast today, which covered a lot of good topics. It was relatively no nonsense, no drama today. Instead, we talked about various topics such as a bunch of game news with the Marvel vs. Capcom collection getting a release date that's really close, as well as the announcement of a whole new Capcom Fighting Collection 2 featuring Capcom vs. SNK 2 being playable for the first time in like over 20 years, which is pretty crazy. Sorry. Which is pretty crazy when you think about it. Also, my cough was on and off very bad today with the stupid post-nasal drip, which is very annoying. In addition to that, I watched the trailer for the new Capcom collection, as well as Silent Hill 2 Story trailer that came out recently, and I did live commentary on those. People really seem to enjoy that. So overall, a lot of interesting, fun topics discussed today. Plus, I got yet another new piece of equipment for my setup that was donated by a fan. This isn't one that you guys are going to physically see, but it's one that's going to benefit me for sure in the long term. So if you want the skinny on all of that, please check out the Level 1 podcast from earlier today. So all day I played Star Wars Outlaws, right? What did I think? Well, first of all, performance-wise, it was running beautifully on my PC. I had it on 1080p, but maximum settings of everything. Ray tracing, ultra performance mode, everything. It was gorgeous until we got to this part of the game where we had to start sneaking through this tall grass. And as soon as we hit the tall grass, the whole frame rate crapped out. I was like, is that really ray tracing? Because if it were, the ray tracing shouldn't be affecting the tall grass. I could see if it was like lighting or something going on. It was just tall grass we were climbing through. It was very confusing what was causing the issue. Then, once we finally got to the open world portion of the game, forget it. It was like choppy, like 10 frames per second. So I said, all right, I guess we're going to have to turn off some of this ray tracing. We went down to medium ray tracing, and that seemed to fix the problem temporarily. Because once you get on the speeder bike and you start driving around, this game loads incredibly poorly. It has horrible pop-in. As it loads parts of the map, it freezes. So it was having lots of performance issues in the open world. When you're in like the towns and stuff, it seems perfectly fine. Gorgeous 120 frames per second. But whenever you get on the speeder bike and you started driving around the open world at high speeds, the game just didn't handle very well. Now, I don't know if I were to go down to like, high, mid settings, if that would fix that, or if it's just a problem with the loading of the game in general. I don't know. But not that it was unplayable, but it was jarring because the game is literally gorgeous in towns. And then you get on the speeder bike and start driving around and it becomes Chop City. You're like, oh, this really stinks. So gameplay. The game's a mishmash. It has elements of various different games. For example, it has the platforming of Tomb Raider and Uncharted. It has sneaking from, third-person sneaking games that you've played before, stuff like that. But it also, oddly enough, has Deadeye from Red Dead Redemption. So it has like 3-4 different games jammed together into one. So far, the vast majority of the game has been stealth. Like, they want you to just do stealthy things, sneak around guys, disable panels, disable power sources, so doors, force field will go down, and you can keep going on and steal stuff from another room. The big mission I did at the end of the stream, where I had to go into a camp, and I had to break into one building, look for intel, get the intel, have a shootout with one story character, and then leave and go into the basement and blow it up with a bomb, and then sneak out of the camp, because all the troops were alerted. It really feels to me like Metal Gear Solid almost, like Metal Gear Solid 5 in a lot of ways. Like, that's what they were going for. Is it good? Well, let me put it this way. Today, I never had a moment where I was like, wow, this game is atrociously bad, and I just think they fucked up. At the same time, I don't think there was a single moment today where I was like, wow, that's cool and fun, and I'm glad I'm playing this game. It just kind of is meh. I'm about 4.5 hours into it. Give or take. I'm working for various different factions, doing missions for them and trying to build up reputation. One of them is the Jabba the Hutt faction, by the way, which is kind of cool that Jabba the Hutt is a character in this. But basically, the way I see it, I'm not blown away by anything yet. Like, nothing in the game has been like, ooh, that's cool, you know? And that's a shame, I feel. That's a missed opportunity. When you have a new game like this, there should be elements that you're like, oh, that's really neat. And I don't think this game has that right now. It doesn't have that oomph factor of, ooh, it's a new game set in the Star Wars universe to get blown away. And here's the other funny part. See this piece of art right here? So in all the promotional thing about the game, they said, oh, you have a companion, a robot companion who'll join you on these missions or whatever, right? And I'm looking at, there he is again. Guess what? I'm 4.5 hours into the game. He's not even in the game yet. So it's like, how long do you have to have me play through the intro before I'm going to get to the gameplay loop that will be the real game? If it doesn't really start until that new character joins you, so you can do like team up missions and stuff, I don't want to wait that long. Again, so many games today have this slow build mentality, and then all of a sudden, hour 10, hour 12, boom, you hit the real game and it's supposed to be good. No one wants to wait 12 hours to see the real video game. We want it right away, and we want to know what to expect. We want to be wowed from the start, and then if you want story elaboration after we've been hooked, go for it. I hate to say it, but this game has this weird slow build mentality, where even though I'm in the open world, I don't even have like my posse together yet, so I don't even know, you know, if it's going to be good or not in the long term. And, you know, everyone kind of felt that way on the stream today. Some people were like, don't stream it again. Others were like, hope you stream it again. Some were like, meh, not great, but, you know, maybe give it another shot. For me, I have no commitment to keep playing it because I got Ubisoft Plus. I only paid $20, so I do not have to continue it. And I'm curious what everyone's thoughts are. As you watch this first batch of 4 videos, which is about 4.5 hours of content, please, by all means, share your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you think. Is this a game worth continuing? Does it get better in time? Is it a game not worth continuing? Were you not impressed and you don't want to see it again? Because right now, I'll tell you, I'm already struggling to juggle all the things that I want to play and do. I don't really have time to waste on a game that maybe people don't really care that much about, right? So I need your thoughts. I would love your opinions. Me, I'm just like, man, I don't really have a strong opinion either way, okay? All right, so that was today. Plus today, I debuted a new awesome animation for when someone does or when we hit our King's Streak goal, meaning we hit all the tips goals for a stream. We are now 21 straight streams we have done this and continuing on, okay? And this new animation people love, so I'm very happy that people liked it. It was really well done animation, and I'm going to do it every time we hit it now, okay? So, that was today. If you thought today was something special, wait till you hear about tomorrow, okay? First off, tomorrow's Level 1 podcast, quite frankly, is not a normal Level 1 podcast. I'm going to be starting around 11 a.m. Pacific time and taking about a half an hour to work out any technical issues that I'm having between Discord and OBS so that they're set before the guest comes on. The guest is Keemstar, and he's going to be joining us at 11:30 a.m. Pacific time. He's going to be joining us for about an hour to an hour and a half, depending on, you know, how we talk and what we have to talk about. It's going to be very interesting, to say the least. All right? I think we're going to have our first man-to-man conversation publicly, talking about various topics. I'm sure he'll have questions for me. I have questions for him. It's going to be an interesting discussion no matter how it goes, okay? But it's going to be civil, no attacks. It's more of us just having a first meeting at all on the internet, because instead of that, it's just been us kind of yelling at each other across the internet and insulting each other and stuff, and that gets nowhere, right? So that's the show. Now, I'm not going to be taking any donations. Well, I'll be taking donations. I'm not going to be shouting out any donations. I'm not going to have any interruptions during our conversation. It's literally me and him. And then when he's done, when you know, about an hour, hour and a half, thank you for his time. And then when he leaves, then I'll read out all shout outs for donations. And I'll have a little bit of Q&A and everything with you guys to decompress from it to end the show. And that's literally the whole show. Okay, that's the podcast tomorrow. So it's probably going to run late. Yes, it's probably going to cut into our normal gameplay time. That's okay. But it should be a very special show, and I hope you guys will join me for it live here tomorrow, okay? Then we're going to switch over to Black Myth Wukong and likely play for 2 to 3 hours, but I don't think we're going to have the full 3 hours. Like I said, it's probably going to bleed into that. But more Black Myth Wukong tomorrow after that. Then tomorrow night, get this. I just announced this late. It was a special announcement, and I'm going to actually put a special video out about it tonight. Tomorrow, for the first time ever, I'll be playing WWE Champions live on stream. It's something that people have wanted for ages, and I'm finally going to do it. I made a new account specifically for me to stream this game since people seem to want it. Now, I don't know how it's going to go because you got to do all the intro stuff in this game before you can even get to a point where, like, it's really anything you can do that opens up. I have to get to, like, level 5 in the game to even unlock special events and things, which is the meat of the game. Like, the meat of the game is doing special events and special tours, and I can't do them yet because the game is just starting. Do you understand? So that being said, I really don't know how it's going to go. Some people might tune in and be like, oh, this is what the game is, but others might be hyped for it. But you guys wanted it. I got it working today. I did a new dummy, like a brand new account, you know, and we're going to start fresh and do it together and see what you guys think. And if it's entertaining and we get to the point where people like it and want to see more of it and we want to set up our own faction and we want to do events together and we want to do shit, we could do that. Or we could say, wow, this really is not that interesting, so we'll just let it go and then never talk about it again, which I'd be fine with either way, to be quite frank with all of you, okay? So, tomorrow night, the first ever mobile game stream here on DSP Gaming, okay? Now, for the rest of the week, I am streaming Thursday as well. Likely Thursday will be a combination between either more Star Wars Outlaws or more Black Myth Wukong, and then the late stream will be Stardew Valley because I didn't get to play it all week long, all right? Fair enough? Hope that sounds good. So, guys, what a day tomorrow. I hope you'll join me all day long for that special stuff. And again, give me your opinions on Star Wars Outlaws as you watch the footage. I'd love to hear what you think to know if I should play it more and how much to play it, okay? Thank you all. Have a good night and enjoy not only the Star Wars Outlaws footage, but a bunch of clips. You know, I'm going to be this special announcement video about tomorrow night's Champions stream. But then I also have a few clips that I took from today's content that I think you're going to enjoy as well that I'm going to have going live over the course of the night, okay? Thank you all. Have a good night. See you tomorrow. Peace out.